So today we are discussing all things DAS Pass. But first I want to start off by saying that I do not consider myself an expert on this subject. What I am is someone who, after being diagnosed last year, has been on 2 different Disney World trips and used this service. So I hope that my personal knowledge and experience of it and using it and navigating it will help others, because I did feel like initially, even though Disney does a really good job explaining it online, it can be overwhelming. So hopefully this alleviates some of that issue for you. And so for those who are new to this channel, hi, my name's Jen, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis last year and have been navigating this new life. And I'm so happy that Disney does have something like this to offer, so that way I can still enjoy the parks the way that I would like to. So first, let's explain to you what DAS Pass is. And DAS stands for Disability Access Service. It's a program that Disney offers to guests who have difficulty tolerating extended wait times in a traditional queue environment. Disney is really committed to, inclusivity and opening things up, having access to all different types of guests. So it's just a way for Disney to be able to help those who have some issues be able to enjoy the parks. So as we dive into this conversation, there are a few things that DAS is not. And DAS is not for guests who just have mobility issues. So if you require a wheelchair or a scooter, Disney offers different services for those guests. And probably one of the main things to highlight is DAS does not provide immediate entrance to an attraction. So you do not get walk-up immediate access. Not gonna happen. What it does give you is an issuance of a return time so that you're able to virtually wait the same time as the other guests are waiting, as opposed to waiting in the traditional queue. Okay, so now that I've kind of explained what DAS isn't and then what DAS is, let's get into how do we sign up for DAS as guests. So there are 2 different ways. You can do it in person at guest relations at the parks, but now they have added a pre-registration option, which is the option that I've used on my last 2 trips. It's a way to pre-register for DAS, so that way you're not taking up valuable time of your vacation trying to set it all up for yourself. You can register as soon as 30 days in advance of your park visit, but no less than 2 days before your arrival. And again, below in the description, I will put the link that you can click on to start that process. So the first step is reading their terms of agreement or waiver, disclaimer, I forget exactly what they call it, and signing off on that. Then you can click to chat with a cast member. When the cast member joined the chat for me, they informed me that they were finishing helping with somebody else, and for me to ensure that I had some things ready to expedite the chat once they got to me. And they asked me, the name of the person with a disability. We had tickets already linked on My Disney Experience. The party that will be traveling with me was linked to me on as friends and family on the My Disney Experience. And then it also did remind me to ensure that the person with the disability would be available during the chat. So if the person is not yourself that has a disability, you want to make sure that they are available, because the cast member is going to want to take a photo of them. And I don't know if under 18 they actually discuss with them, but if you're over 18 with a disability, they will talk directly to you. It also did ask if I had park reservations linked, and I'm assuming it's because at the time of filming, annual pass holders still on certain days needed to have park reservations. So once the cast member got into the chat box and started talking to me, ensured I had all those things completed, they informed me that they wanted to do a video chat. And so I agreed, and they sent a link, which immediately opened up a second box for us to be able to do a video chat. The cast member then wanted to discuss what about my disability might have issues with me needing to use the DAS Pass. And they were very respectful. I didn't have any issues with the cast member during it. They did not make me feel uncomfortable at all. And it was a very quick conversation. I think the thing that made me feel the most comfortable with it is my disability can sometimes be hidden to others, just based on you not physically seeing anything on my body. It's more of my body reacting. So it's nice that you don't have anybody kind of questioning you on that, which could then it would definitely cause me to feel uncomfortable. So then at that time, the cast member asked me to take a photo. So I posed for a photo. That's for the cast members in the parks to reference you. So when you are scanning on a ride, when you scan in, your photo will pop up so that the cast member can validate that you are the one using the DAS Pass. Once the DAS Pass service is set up, it is valid for 60 days. So depending on if you are a local or you have back-to-back trips or things like that, you can then use it for the next 60 days. If your next trip is going to be longer than that, then you will have to do this process again, which is what I've been going through. You just use it each time and set it up each time for yourself. So then after the DAS Pass is actually set up, the cast member asked if I was ready to move on to the planning stage and do the DAS Advance. And at that time I was. So the DAS Advance actually gives you the opportunity to select 2 attractions for each day that you're at the park in advance. So there are some rides at each park that are not eligible for the advanced DAS selection. And that's for Magic Kingdom would be Tron, Space Mountain, and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. For Epcot, it's Cosmic Rewind and Frozen and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. For Hollywood Studios, it is Rise of the Resistance and Mini Mickey Runaway Railway. And then for Animal Kingdom, it is Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest. But all other rides and attractions are eligible for you to choose for this DAS Advance. So then moving forward through the planning, the cast member sent me a planning sheet which broke up our vacation into 4-day blocks. She wanted to know the date, what park we were going to be at, what attractions we were interested in, and then gave us a morning, afternoon, and evening request time. The only challenge I found with that is, as you've seen on prior trips, sometimes we are not morning people. So I needed something like mid-morning, early afternoon. So I just put on there like morning/afternoon after 10 o'clock, you know, because I didn't want her to schedule a bunch of things or schedule our advance ones prior to us waking up and either forcing my family to get there, which no shame in my game, I have done in the past, but I wanted it to be most successful. So I just put that in there and she was able to accommodate everything and not make me feel like I was being annoying or anything. So I appreciate that. The whole process was actually pretty seamless. When I gave her the options of what I wanted, there was only 2 different instances that we had to kind of go back and forth to either fix timing because we already had a dining reservation, or we had to pick a different attraction because of another dining reservation I had. That attraction was not going to be available to adjust either way. So I just picked a different attraction. So it was very simple. So we planned those first 4 days, and then she sent me another sheet to plan for the next 4 days. One of the differences with the DAS Advance is you can only do DAS Advance for 7 days. As it was, our first day is a travel day. So I just didn't plan anything for that day because I was like, well, if we're at the parks, we'll be at the park later anyways. So I'll just start on the first full day. If your vacation is longer, let's say it's 10 days or 12 days. First of all, good on you. Let me vacation with you. I like your style. Second, what you can do is, which is what we did last summer when we extended our trip, is once you've started using your DAS Pass days, it like frees up those, because you can only hold advance for 7 days total. So if you have a 10-day trip and you're on day 3, you've used those ones. So then you can either chat or call or go to guest relations, and a cast member will then rebook you for those last 3 days or however many days that you have available. So there's always an option to be able to add on. So within the planning process, she did mention something about, oh, if you're gonna be park hopping, we can discuss that later. And then we never did. So we do have park hopping status. But I think I picked a lot of our reservations for mid-morning, afternoon. I think there was a couple days I did for nighttime because I knew we had other plans during the day. So I don't know what she was meaning by that. I know you do only get 2 selections a day, so maybe you could say this park at one time and then we're hopping here, so I want one at this park over there, you know, later on. I just didn't inquire more into that. So then after she was able to do the scheduling, she just asked me to look at my Disney experience, refresh the page, look through all the advanced selections, and comment then whether we needed to adjust anything or if everything looked good. And it looked good, so we were good to go. So that was the end of the chat. So all in all, I would say it probably took about a half an hour, about 15 minutes with setting up the DAS service and then 15 minutes of planning. And maybe I'm even being generous with time and it didn't take that long. It did not feel like I was on the chat for very long. So since that's all taken care of and that's prior to you going on your trip, the nice thing with it is it's taken care of. So you don't have to spend any of your precious vacation time trying to do any of this kind of stuff. So how do you use the DAS Pass when you're at the parks? So first things first, we know each day we have 2 DAS advanced reservations, but that doesn't mean that that's all you get to select. You are still eligible for virtual queues as any other guest at Walt Disney World. So for Tron and for Cosmic Rewind at 7 a.m. when those virtual queues open up, definitely attempt to get a boarding group for you and your traveling party. Once you scan into the park, so you just use My Disney Experience, go to the DAS portion on the site, and then you can reserve an attraction. And again, those are only 1 at a time attractions. So you'll want to scan, you know, look over it to see what you guys are interested in doing, knowing that also you have those 2 already booked in advance to be able to make a selection to then go on that attraction. So when you go up to the attraction, that gets your return time is now. The person who signed up for the DAS Pass needs to scan in first. Their little light will turn blue. That signifies the cast member that your picture pops up. They verify that's you. You'll scan again, and then everybody in your party will then scan, and then you can go on the attraction. So it's just important that once you walk up to an attraction, you are the first one to scan in. Also, as I mentioned with those virtual queues for Tron and Cosmic Rewind, if you were lucky enough to get one, good job. But when you go up to actually go to the attraction to ride the ride, find the cast members that work in front of it, let them know that you have DAS Pass and that you have a virtual queue, and they will then scan it all and everyone's and switch it over to a lightning lane, so that way you can go through the lightning lane access. So personally, when using DAS Pass, I returned to those attractions to ride them during the time that was allotted on DAS Pass. If I wasn't able to, I just canceled it. But when I was researching for this, I did look up and it does say that there is no issue with returning for a return time past your return time with the DAS Pass. And I'm assuming it's just, you know, obviously if there's an issue, something is going on and you miss your return time, that you can then go even after the return time is passed. Like I said, I've never used it. I've always just gone or canceled something. So if for some reason there's an issue and you can't, like your return time is like noon to 1 and you can't get there until 2, I'm guessing you just inform the cast member and then they will let you through with the DAS. Okay, so that seemed like a mouthful and a lot of conversation. So like I said in the beginning, I've been on 2 trips now and used this service on both trips and have found it immensely helpful. But I'm still learning how to use it and navigate it. And so if I said something wrong, I apologize, or misquoted something, or didn't include something in this vlog, comment below. If you've actually used this before and have some more information, comment below with that. I would definitely be very appreciative, as like I said, this is kind of a new journey for me and navigating the process is something I'm interested in helping others with as well. I hope this was helpful. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Go live your DisGoals. Bye.